Hello everybody and welcome to Bright Founders Talk at Temy. Temy is an international software development company that builds, designs and delivers software for sustainable businesses and promising startups. Welcome to our podcast. We bring you the most inspiring stories of entrepreneurs and experts in the software development industry. And each week we interview successful leaders who share their unique journeys and valuable insights. I'm your host, Barry, and today we're lucky enough to be joined by an amazing guest, Andreas Zartmann, who is CEO and at DigitalRoute's. Hello, Andreas. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Barry. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We know you're very busy. For those who don't know you, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and the company that you work at?
Okay. Father of three, 50 plus. Grown up in the hospitality industry, where my father is a chef, actually. So I started out with, serving other people. And then by coincidence, went into the tech industry more than 25 years ago. And then been in various tech companies, from large listed companies down to startups and everything in between. With the maybe the common denominator that something that is fast growing or very tricky turnaround. So no steady state.
Were you always destined to be an entrepreneur? Was it something that you thought, you know what, I would like to start my own company?
Yeah, I think it's something that you are. It's not something that you become. That's my personal view of entrepreneurship. And I grew up with a family with businesses and all of that. So it's starting working very early together with my father, and I always enjoyed working as well. Enjoyed working as a lot, and then very curious about new things and how can we improve, and have a lot of drive around that. And I did elite sports for many, many years in parallel as well. So, this drive of creating results together with someone else is really something that is motivating me and building new stuff. And so I think it's just something that you have within yourself and want to get it out.
It seems like it was inevitable that you got to the position that you are today, doesn't it?
I don't know that because, I was a CFO in a lot of companies before I turned into leading myself in the CEO role. I had the question many times on the table if I shouldn't, take the next step and so forth. But I always seen myself as being in tandem with the CEO, building new stuff and being the second in command and all of that. But, it's been a fantastic ride, and I'm so happy that I did it finally, actually, because this company is extremely special and it's just been a joy.
So since we're talking about your passion, could you just share your journey a little bit and elucidate how your company came into existence?
So DigitalRoute's, just the 30-second pitch to start with, right? So we're a niche company. We do usage data management, helping large enterprises with data in front of their monetization processes. So, from collection to building up the usage data set for putting a charge on it and then build the end customer and so on. That's the only thing we do. And we deliver this software and help world's largest enterprises to scale up their subscription businesses, basically. And the story behind the company, now 25 years into the industry, is Telecom started, on embarking on the 3D journey, and the data went nuts, right? So it's actually the starting point of digital services, if you like. So all our customers is running a digital service, some shape or form, and the business model that is attached to that is basically some kind of subscription. That's the common denominator for our customers. What is really interesting with having the heritage from telecoms industry is a couple of things. First of all, it's a standardized industry. So the stack that we built in telecoms is really state of the art for any kind of digital services. So it's a horizontal play, right? And the other thing is it's a high demand industry. It's standardized all over the globe and high demand. And with that comes high quality. So if you manage to survive, you build really, really strong software and you build really deep knowledge about delivering this software and value to the end customers. And eventually, what everybody's experienced today, this change of business model is cross verticals all over the world. And that's what we kind of leverage and ride the wave towards growth for ourselves, taking our knowledge and experience and software, of course, helping large enterprises scaling up their subscription business by managing the data, which is essentially the core of all these digital services. And it's actually usage data that is the core of all subscription businesses, regardless if you charge a fixed price or if you have, 600 different price plans. So that's the background, and that's also the strategy forward to take what we learned and what we built up, with our engagement with the world largest telecom operators into world largest brands, enterprise brands and cross industries. And then we built, of course, we had the change from on-prem to private cloud to multi-tenant cloud solution. We've been through all of that as well. So it's been quite a ride, actually.
Yeah, I can imagine. You did say if you manage to survive, is it a really difficult business to get into? Are the odds of you succeeding very small?
No, I think in the telecoms industry, the requirements on the suppliers is extremely high because the services that are delivered to the end customers are mission critical, right? If you take even B2C, we could say, how can we survive without a telecom operator? Because they are actually provided all the infrastructure for all internet and all of that, or connectivity in general, right? And then for, the B2B business, it's inevitable, right? Everything is digital today, so you need connectivity. And you need high quality connectivity, otherwise services are down. So everything that runs in the backend needs to work. With all of that said, software that don't deliver value and stand up for kind of anything will not make it. But the other side is that since it's standardized, you're kind of getting a tech specification to deliver upon, right? And you need to be better than anyone else to deliver on that. So it's highly, highly competitive as well. And if you survive all these things, you build a very strong relationship with these customers, and it lasts for a long time. So over time, of course, you need to innovate and so forth, but all this relationship also builds a decent business, and that is our foundation to invest into new markets and take our software into new markets.
So you have mentioned that you have a lot of experience. So what has been the change of pace in terms of development, starting from say 25 years ago or slightly more, up until now? Is it becoming exponentially faster and faster and faster? Or have you seen periods of rapid growth and then slow and then rapid and slow?
Very interesting question from the perspective of running DigitalRoute and building a growth journey for the company, because the other thing with telecoms and our backgrounds is it's a saturated market. It's so mature, while all the other enterprise segments are fast growing. Now we need to look at the customers that we serve as well. We serve world absolute largest brands, which is extremely motivating, but it can also be very tough from a perspective of what you're just saying. You need to be on the forefront all the time, innovating, and also deliver, I would say, expertise, not only services, but knowledge to help these customers, because they are extremely demanding. And we are, the company resides on a very strong culture of being customer obsessed and helping our customers doing all of that. And of course, when you take a software that is purpose built for an industry from the very beginning into new verticals, it's very disruptive. So it takes a while to do that, but the last 5 years has been incredible. Actually, we doubled our ARR, and now we're on to the next, the next phase of building on top of that as well, and taking our software also into a new market segments from the size and the complexity of our customers. So it's quite interesting.
It's interesting because most people I speak to, they say they're very customer focused. Mm-hmm. But you're customer obsessed, so you must be on the next level of customer focus that no one else has reached yet.
No, but I think it comes with our, again, the DNA of serving these large enterprises, and it's something that many companies are talking about. Yeah, we are enterprise grade, or we're, but in reality, there is very few companies software companies that have bunch of Forbes 2000 companies under their belt, and we actually have more than 200 of them. So it's I think you need to be customer obsessed in such an environment, because otherwise you're scrutinized down on nerd knob things, right? Everything. So we're not a big company. We're 250 employees. Every single one of them needs to have the right mindset to deliver high quality services, high quality software to our customers, because otherwise the company will slowly be deteriorated, and then it goes southways.
Yeah, you always have to be on top of your game, don't you? You always have to be racing.
Yeah.
So we're talking about that development. Like, what kind of tech trends are currently catching your attention within the industry, and what are the driving factors behind their significance?
Yeah, I mean, where we are playing, it's basically, so if you just go, 15 years back, I would believe we were hitting the point where the subscription economy in general were founded somewhere there. And so far, for many companies and enterprises in general, it's been a journey of just getting all the bits and pieces together, shifting from selling a product to selling a services, a digital service, and then attach this new business model to it and building up all the bells and whistles and support you need. And for us, it's the finance process, it's the quote to cash process, right? So if we hone in on that, there is this big trend ongoing, and it's a big shift in what kind of price models, business models do you offer to your end customers to enable them to actually consume your digital services in a simpler way, with less friction and with less hurdles. And that taking us into usage-based business models, right? And if you go back again, this is what we're building all our strategy on. In telecoms, mid-sized telecom operator, they have 600 price plans. In the Western world, we all live under the notion of fixed price, everything included, but that's not how the world looks like. You have prepaid stuff, you have postpaid stuff, you have many different tiers and so forth, and packages and bundles and what have you. And this is what enterprises are looking to as well. In order to scale their revenues, you need to have a very, very flexible offering design in order to answer the demand of your end customers' way of wanting to consume your services. And it's a huge trend. And it basically resides in the idea of finding new revenue streams and grow, your revenues in many different ways, packaging your services, bundle them with third party, etc. And this is driving complexity. This is driving the complexity in the underlying financial process. And it's there where companies start to look at how do we do this even better, and it goes directly down to the data stream, right?
Since we're meeting needs of the customer, we're talking about this and also creating new revenue streams. Could you just outline roughly your kind of primary focal points and any ongoing projects or endeavors?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, taking a company into what we call our, enterprise motion has been very much connected to a big partnership with SAP, which is just amazing. It's a partnership to die for, right? But then in parallel with that, we're also trying to build up a direct motion. So, and then this is basic strategy, how is your go-to-market looks like, right? And to lean too much into that kind of large scale and large partnership play that we have with SAP, it's very good for the business, and we're very proud of that. And it takes us to amazing customers. But at the same time, you need to kind of own your own destiny. You need to have a direct relationship with customers to innovate faster and also understand how the software is used in detail, not being on arm's length, if you take my meaning, right? And it's also value creation, of course, longer term for our shareholders, which is extremely important and the core of everything we do as leaders every day, right? So I think, coming back to the different focal points is just scaling up the partnership business and then building, the next phase of direct motions with sales, go-to-market, marketing, and all of that. It's a big undertaking because they are quite different, and they require different skill sets and the capacity in the organization, but it's also it's highly motivated, right? Highly motivating to do all of these things. And last, we just sold the company here to the next PE during spring, and that has been first of all, it's a lot of work to do that, but it's also it marks a big milestone for the company. And now we're embarking onto the next phase of growth and building up a new 5-year plan, and all of that is highly, highly exciting.
So you're going through that change. I'm kind of curious, like, what makes you different from the competitors? What makes you unique? What are you doing that others aren't or can't?
Yeah, that's maybe one of the questions that we are iterating every day, right? And it goes down to our focus. So this is basically, if you just turn this coin on the other side, you could say it's data integration, right? We go and collect data in one side, and we just push it up to a billing system if we simplify things and make it kind of rudimentary. But the thing is that DigitalRoute is different from any kind of ETL tool, that we're purpose-built for taking care of a transaction that is going directly into your ERP system at the end of this process. This is all about revenues, right? And we built in a lot of bells and whistles and capacity into our platform and software with that purpose, which is kind of really, really different from what anyone else is doing. In telecoms, we had a lot of competition, right? But in the enterprise world, there is no one that is solely focused on doing what we're doing still, right? Everybody's going up in the value chain, doing invoicing or billing and a lot of other stuff on top. But we stay focused on usage data management for monetization, which is maybe one of the absolute most important processes for our customers, right? Why do you start to build this from scratch yourself when there is purpose-built technology available? And that's what we're trying to take to the market as well, to position ourselves as the ultimate alternative for managing all your revenue data with a purpose-built solution. And then we can go into, tech details, of course, but I don't think that's just...
We would love to do that, but unfortunately, we do have some time limitations. Yeah. But since we're talking about technology, how do you keep up to date with the latest developments, like especially considering the rapid rate of change within the industry at the moment?
No, you need to be out there in the market, of course. You need to speak to your customers, but you also need to have a lot of other data available, analysis available about what your competitors are doing and what are the analysts thinking, of course, what are other industry experts thinking and talking about, and so forth. That takes a lot of time and efforts, of course, but that's just how it is. You need to be very well connected in the market, I think, and it's all these different things here: customers, partners, analysts, experts around you that kind of giving you the direction. And then you need to make up something on your own about that as well, of course, and make your own decisions and about your positioning and capabilities, I think.
Is networking as crucial now as it was when you first started, 25 years ago?
Absolutely. I think it's even more important because we're trying to take ourselves into many new segments, even if our play is horizontal. I think it's becoming even more important for us to understand the different pain points and strategies and ways forward for a number of industries, not only the telecoms industry, because telecom is now becoming part of many industry plays. So it's not anything different from the others. So yes, absolutely, it is just growing on us that you need to be even more connected today. And the other thing is that things are moving fast, right? Anyone can build software today. It's a lot of software pre-built available, and that's how many tech companies, SaaS companies today they're using what is available, and then they stitch things together in an extremely fast way that cannot be compared to 25 years ago.
So if we just step away from the company a second and look at it a bit more you-focused, so you've had a really successful and a really impressive career resume. What were some key moments that you could share with us that have played a crucial role in your current role today?
It's a few things that actually shaped things. I think for myself, I had a leader in my first job as a finance controller that was just perfect for me, who took me into new areas that I had absolutely no experience of and no clue or anything, and gave me really, really big tasks. And that just was a model that was perfect for me, because I see myself as very curious and driven of finding a new path to solve a problem, and then deliver upon the ask from people around me, and also doing that together with others, because you're just you're just one person, and you really need to learn from others. So I think that moment when I got together with him, and he actually, when he left, he was the CFO of the company, listed company at the stock exchange, and he pointed to me and said, or to the board actually, and said, he's the next one. And I got this CFO job in my early 30s. I think I was 30 or 31 or something like that. And that, of course, was a crazy, crazy ride to a lot of learnings and knowledge. And I was fortunate enough to be in a company that was riding a big wave, and we acquired a lot of companies. And, in all of that, there were so many things happening, and stitching that together. And not only working with the finance side, but actually a lot of operations. And that's maybe what took me also into, becoming how should I say that, more of business development, and very interested in the business. And then it's just, I had the fortune to move to another listed company with completely different, that was a really tricky turnaround situation. And I had to work in your bare hands. There was nothing available. You had to do everything yourself, even if it was a large listed company. You had to do everything yourself.
It's a bit of a trial by fire, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly, and build up stuff, and I learned a lot. And then, after that, I think I'm just been in many different companies as well, and that is highly, highly satisfying to see many different things and stitch these things together. But the most important thing is, at the end of the day, it's all about the people. So you can think about, it's the technology that is superior, is that is superior, or they were lucky, and so forth. But all of that just comes down to people, and getting people onto the same understanding of where we're going and why we're going there, of course, and so forth. So it's also a learning that you're just as good as you are, right? But with really good people, you can do anything.
It's a really lovely way to end it. But just before we do, you've had a wealth of experience, and I'm sure you've seen your successes and your fair share of some mistakes. People who are entrepreneurs, what advice could you give to them, considering like what you've been through? What could you share with them? Maybe just like one or two pieces.
Oh, yeah. No, I do think one thing that is, I always try to come back to, is that try to do things and try to do them faster. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's better that you actually execute 10 things, but you need to have the mindset that it doesn't matter if you fail. That's just a learning point, right? A lot of people are afraid of failing. And then, we try as human beings to perfect things, and then it's too slow and someone else grabbed it in front of you. So, let's get shit down in a faster pace, and let's try 10 things instead of just one that is perfection, that moves things along, and then you learn, and then you do things better. I think that's the way to do it. And then, you need to have people around you. You can't do things on your own. You need to have a few people around you that are really, really good, and they are much better than you in certain areas, right? So a lot of trusting people.
So basically, no room for procrastinators, right? Lovely. It's been amazing talking to you, Andreas. We've really enjoyed you, and thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Barry, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. That was Andreas Zartmann, CEO at DigitalRoute's.